Hey everyone, welcome to a very special edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, and Mario Heron. Guys, this is the show we've been waiting for, and waiting for this show, I will say, for 2 years we've been waiting for this show. Because when this show started, we all said Brandon Staley is not the guy. And I've not been a Staley fan since day one. I remember going to a Chiefs Chargers game with Josh, and Staley went for it a million times on fourth down. Yet if he would have just not gone for it one time on fourth down, the Chargers would have won that game. And then they don't make the playoffs because of one game. And I was like, this guy stinks. But walking out of the stadium, everyone's sitting there going, oh, we got the greatest coach in the world. And he is, big whatever. And you just sit there and go, this is not winning football. And this isn't how it works. And then it's a matter of time before he lost the locker room. And then players hated his guts and the team didn't play well. And it was time Brandon Staley was gone. He should have been gone after the Jaguars game. And yet they sit there and wrote it out. And guess what? It worked out overall for where we are today, because today we get the news that Jim Harbaugh is the new head coach of your Los Angeles Chargers. And even though we aren't in the Super Bowl and not in the playoffs, it feels like we just signed a contract for 5 big years. Finally, that worked, Mario. That was
Yep.
worked time. But I'm telling you, I know all three of us are extremely excited. Los Angeles Charger fans are extremely excited. The only 2 fan bases who aren't excited, and that's the University of Michigan, and that's the San Diego Charger fan base that says they refuse to watch Los Angeles Charger games, which is a lie because TV ratings are gigantic in San Diego. So we know you're watching. Just don't tell your neighbors, don't tell your friends that you're still watching the Chargers. This is the place to be. This is a big story going into the NFL season in 2024. Jim Harbaugh was the number 1 catch as far as coaches go, and the Chargers landed him this afternoon.
Size up the rings. Size them up.
Who has
Let's
a better
do it. Nobody. Been practicing that all day, the last 3 hours of saying that. I said it to my fiance 400 times. She said, stop saying that to me. Nobody has it better than us. The day after the Raiders take our sloppy seconds with Tom Telesco, we land the big fish. I mean, this thing couldn't have gone better. I understand that the Chargers haven't made the playoffs and we've had agony and pain for our entire existence, but forget that. Today's a great day. Today we move forward. We have one of the best coaches, not only in the NFL, but in the football world, in Jim Harbaugh. And let's just call it as it is. Dave is the first one to say it. His sources never lied. He had it from the beginning. He knew it. He couldn't say it definitely, but he knew it was going to happen 3 weeks ago. And you can pat yourself on the back because you knew it first.
I tell you, Mario, you could go back and look at it. And Josh, you were there when we got information. I'm not going to sit there and say that we had it first, but we had it first. I mean, we were linked to this back in October, and in the November, we got confirmation that this is the way it was going. And so I think we mentioned it on this show all the way back around Thanksgiving that Jim Harbaugh was coming to the Chargers.
No, you did, because I thought you were crazy, because I thought he'd be up here in Chicago. But, do you believe in miracles, ladies and gentlemen? USA did beat the Soviet Union, and the Chargers did land Jim Harbaugh. And it's no more coordinators, no more suffering, no more of the false hype. I think this is the first time we can say in the history of the San Diego, Los Angeles, whatever you want to say, Chargers, that the hype that is going to be coming to the Chargers entering into the 2024 season is valid, should happen, is accurate, and that there's high levels for them to be a Super Bowl contender. And I think they are. With Harbaugh at the helm, with Justin Herbert at quarterback, I'm fine with saying that they are a Super Bowl contending team. I'm fine with saying there's something to be a force to be reckoned with. I'm fine with saying the Chargers should be taken seriously. I'm fine with saying that you should take a future bet on them when the numbers come out. They're serious. It finally happened, Josh. All the coordinators eat crap. I'll make sure to dump it out for you. Raider fans, have fun with Tommy Boy. Dolphins, for the love of God, please hire Brandon Staley, the dude that you literally owned week 1. That's smart. Good job, guys.
So if you aren't sure exactly what Mario's alluding to, Vic Fangio was fired by the Dolphins as their DC, and rumor is he's going to the Philadelphia Eagles. So, yeah, it does open a spot up in Miami. I tell you what, looking at a couple different things here for the Chargers. I mean, we spoke about this for a while. I will point this out for Josh and I personally. We win twice today. Okay, everyone knows Josh and I are huge Alabama fans. All right, Jim Harbaugh leaves. Guess what? Transfer portal opens up at Michigan. All of a sudden, man, we come and we take whatever you can't hold on to. Guess what? when that next coach that goes to Michigan, if it's not the guy that filled in for him, if it's not Sharon that fills in that gets that job, and let's say it's the LSU coach, we get their guys too. So Josh and I win. Alabama football wins today too. Charger fans, you win. But Josh and I won twice today. So it's a rare, great day today. I was thinking about this as we were waiting to do the show. A lot of times we criticize Charger players for not giving 100% or not what we perceive is 100%. And we call out Khalil Mack because Khalil Mack seems like you know what you're going to get every single week. He plays every down like it's his last down. It's important to him. He's a vet that is basically his resume is ridiculously impressive, but yet Khalil Mack still plays harder than anybody on the field. Guys who didn't play as hard as they could when Jim Harbaugh is going through game film and deciding which guys are worth the money and which guys aren't worth the money, you made a huge mistake. You made a huge mistake because winning's about to happen. And Joey Bosa, when we look at your film, it's terrible. So-and-so, we look at your film, it's terrible. And so Jim Harbaugh runs one way, and he's used to winning, and he's always won wherever he's been. He doesn't want guys that are sometimes guys, and there are a lot of sometimes guys on this roster. And I can't wait to see it cleaned. And I think he's going to have a huge portion in as far as decision-making goes on this roster. Otherwise, he wouldn't have taken that position. And I think a lot of guys are going to be shown the door, and maybe some Charger fans are going to be shocked. There's a reason why these guys will not be on the Chargers in 2024. And as a Charger fan, just accept it. I don't care if you bought a 97 jersey or not. If he's not here, if Mike Williams is here, if so-and-so's not here, accept it. We are going in the right direction, and this is the way we're pulling the rope. Everyone else can eat S on the way out the door because guess what? You did not do good for this organization, and you were stealing money on your paychecks for the other coaches. It's time to go. Why would you turn it on now? We don't need sometimes, guys.
Culture change. We've been talking about culture change this entire time. The problem with the Chargers culture is they have a lot of guys that aren't true leaders. We believe Joey Bosa is not that. If you're a Charger fan, you have to believe Joey Bosa has been part of the problem and not the solution the entire time he's been there. And John Spanos, let's give him a little bit of credit because when Jim Harbaugh comes in, that means you step down. And that is a big deal for Charger fans because you know your place. Jim Harbaugh coming in is going to do wonders for this team. This is the biggest news that has happened to the Chargers, bigger than Justin Herbert, because he is the guy that controls the entire team. Justin Herbert can control the offense. When they have the ball, Jim Harbaugh controls the entire team on and off the field. He's going to be with the GM in his pocket picking these players. I am so excited for this move because the Chargers haven't seen anything like this probably since Marty Schottenheimer. But the difference between Marty Schottenheimer and Jim Harbaugh is Jim Harbaugh is a champion. He's coming off of a championship. He knows how to win, and the Chargers haven't seen anything like this, especially since they moved to Los Angeles. It's been a loser franchise, and it's all about a change. We have one of the best, I'm not going to say the best yet, but we have one of the best duos between Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. I will take them against any duo in the NFL. Right now, you give me Reed and Mahomes. I think Herbert and Harbaugh can go against them. I think he can go against his brother with Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh. I love what the Chargers are building, and they have won the offseason so far, and they might win the entire offseason, especially with the top 5 pick. If they get Malik Neighbors or Brock Bowers, the Chargers are going to win the offseason.
I completely agree. And you mentioned the culture change. We talked about it, man. There's no culture with Staley. If there's any culture, it was a culture of let's suck. Let's be the worst team in the AFC West because that's what they were. Harbaugh's that change. Harbaugh's that punch in the mouth football. Harbaugh's that, when you come to the Chargers, when you come play us, expect a physical game. Expect to be on your ass. Expect to get popped in the mouth. That's everything Harbaugh brings. That's everything that the Los Angeles Chargers need. I expect Derwin James to have a bounce back year, right? Like, I expect him to have a bounce back year. If I'm Mac, I want to stay now. If I was thinking about going somewhere else, I kind of want to stay now and I'll see what happens. Bosa, I got to get my crap in check because he'll ship me out the door really quickly. And by the way, I'm an Ohio State guy. You want to play that game if you really want to. It's going to be a completely different. If I'm Keenan Allen, I'm excited, right? Like, I just gave you a hell of a year. I still have something left in the tank. I know this guy can get more out of me, can get more out of all the guys around me. If I'm Eckler, we don't really want him back, but I want to come back. I want to play for a winning franchise as a winning coach, and that's what they have right now. It's such a positive outlook for the Chargers' future right now. And like you said, Josh, they already won the offseason. This is a win. Keep building on the win. Now go get a good GM. Now go get some assets. Now draft well. And let's get on to the 2024 season because there's a lot of guys you got to compete with. Got to compete with the Raiders. Got to compete with Denver. Got to compete with the Chiefs. And if I'm any of those teams right now, Chiefs, I know you got a playoff game, but as soon as that playoff game ends, I'm a little nervous for next year.
Okay, so look, you look at the Chargers, all right, and you're sitting down with some of these guys that, hey, want to come back. And I agree with you. I think all of a sudden this is a place you want to play. He has a history of winning. I mean, look what he did with the 49ers. 3 of the 4 years he was in the NFC Championship game and went to a Super Bowl. Like, he's had success everywhere he's gone. We talked about USD, even won a Pioneer League championship. At Stanford, he completely embarrassed Pete Carroll in the dynasty that was USC with the famous "What's your deal?" Let me tell you, a lot of NFL coaches get used to shaking his head at the end of the games with you practice and saying, "What's your deal?" Because that's what people say to him. Ask the Detroit Lions, ask Pete Carroll, because he is going to shove it, and that's the way it goes. And as football fans, we need that. We haven't had that. This is bigger than Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer never went to a Super Bowl. He's the winningest coach never to go to a Super Bowl. He wasn't a closer. Jim Harbaugh is a closer. This is Dean Spanos' best move in his entire life. No offense, Susie. This is the best decision he's ever made. And that's just the way it goes. And as Charger fans, finally, this was a decision that is good for all of us. I will say this. If I'm Joey Bosa and I'm sitting there talking to Jim, I want you to explain your tape. Show me. What were you doing here? Why on third down were you coming out of games? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Why weren't you with your teammates at the end of games when you weren't able to play? Why were you eating Raisin Bran up top in a private box? Why are you always at 49er games? And guess what? There's the damn door. I don't need that guy. Now, I think Derwin James, I think when you sit there and Jim goes, there's stuff we can fix. You know, the culture was bad, just like you guys said. There's a reason why I think Derwin fell into it. He fell into a bad culture, and I hate to see it, but that's what I believe happened. I do want Keenan Allen back if he wants back. Austin Eckler, Mario, goodbye. Nothing but a distraction that didn't play up to his contract. Austin Eckler can go. I'm sorry, he's an old man in this league now, even though he's 29 years old. Old guys, old running backs don't work in this league. It's time for him to go. My prediction, Austin Eckler, he'll be in the league one more year with some other team, and then in 2 years, he'll be out of the league. He has nothing left in the tank. Have fun in Carolina, Austin. We don't need you. It's a new day.
I'm really curious to who he kicks out and brings in the next few months. It's going to be huge. I can almost guarantee you he's going to bring in Blake Corum or Donovan Edwards, one of the Michigan running backs, onto the Chargers next year from the draft. I can see that coming already, which is fine. Michigan won the championship. They have good players. Jim Harbaugh knows how to bring in good players. And I think the difference between Jim Harbaugh and past Chargers GMs is he's not afraid to bring in players that might have an attitude issue, maybe an issue with the law. He wants the best possible football players. And he's going to get the most out of them. We said that on the last show. Jim Harbaugh is known for getting the best out of his players. I'm so pumped, man. I cannot tell you. I already forgot that we sucked last year. I already forgot about it. I'm just looking forward, not looking in the rear view, just looking forward. And I'm super pumped about who he's going to bring in as his offensive, defensive coordinators, the GM. I saw that they brought in the guy from the Ravens for a second interview today. I love some positive collusion with his brother as long as we benefit. I'm all for it. So I'm really curious to see who his next moves are, not just with the players, but the GM and the coordinators as well.
I am too, man. I'm really excited to see what the next steps are for the Chargers. And as soon as this happened, I thought of there's a stupid thing that my little cousin used to watch in the Star Wars movies and the Rogue One, where it's like they go, Hope's the most dangerous thing. And it's a really cringy scene. The acting needs to be reestablished in all sense of purposes of that scene. But I literally thought that right away, like, where there's hope. Like, there's hope of something better. There's hope that, all right, this is not the normal Chargers. This is not a normal Charger move. They didn't charge it. Like, can we say, like, they didn't charge this move. They didn't charge this hire. They actually did everything they needed to do. We thought Spanos wouldn't do it. Spanos does it. And here we are. I'm excited to see what they do next. I'm interested who he hires as his DC and his OC. Obviously, Vic Fangio is a very popular name that got, let go and then suddenly hired again by the Eagles. As soon as he got let go, I really wanted him as DC because I just think of that Bears defense in 16 and I think that was the greatest moment of 18. I'm sorry. That was one of the greatest defenses I've ever seen. And it's, brought tears to my dad's eyes every Sunday. So I thought him right away, but we'll see what happens.
Defense still brings tears to your dad's eyes. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's still, they still do. I still need to get that
tears.
I still need to get that Buckus helmet and put it right there because he keeps reminding me. He wants to see in the shots. Shout to Kurt, if he wanted his name said or not. But yeah, no, I'm excited, man. I'm really, really pumped. It's gonna be a fun one, and I'm even dressed up for it. So I got dressed for you. Dressed for Hardball Day, January 24th, 2024, Hardball Day.
It's a big day. Honestly, I do believe this is a turn for the Chargers. Again, they have one of these practice facilities that is supposed to be the best in the NFL that they're finishing up. At the same time, they play in the greatest NFL stadium. You bring in a coach that is a 70% winning percentage. This was big for Dean. Dean takes a lot of heat, but we discussed it on this show over and over again that there's a point where you can only be pushed so far. And we've said, look, Dean is the kind of guy that doesn't want to be embarrassed and he doesn't want to be the butt of jokes, but he has been. And so, Mari, I know you aren't in Southern California. You don't spend a lot of time here. But when you look about your entertainment dollar and you look at what the Lakers are always the number one story, even if the Lakers aren't good, they're still going to be the number one story. And those tickets are crazy hard to get. But the Dodgers have completely taken it to another level. And when you look at, Shohei Ohtani, the best baseball player maybe in the history of baseball, all of a sudden at Dodger Stadium, not far away from even where SoFi is. And then you look at what's going on at USC, and that USC has all of a sudden all these big time players and a big time coach making $100 million. That you're saying you got to compete somewhere, and that's not even talking about the people you share the stadium with, and the Rams, who in an off year made the postseason, and you have Sean McVay. The Chargers now prove to me, guys, that they're in this game, and they're in this game not just to say we're here, but we're in this game to eventually hold that Lombardi Trophy. This is such a big day in Charger history that in all the years they've been around, which I think is year 64, this is the biggest day.
Is there any indication who he's going to draft since he's brought in as the head coach? Does this mean we're going to get an offensive lineman, a receiver, a tight end? Do you guys feel any indication whatsoever where they're going to go now? Or do you still feel the same way, Mario?
I think that we're most closer to a Marvin Harrison Jr. move, if I'm being completely honest with you. Seen the most film on him, played the most against him. Probably knows him better than anyone. There's a great line in I'm just quoting movies today, but what are you gonna do? There's a good thing in The Miracle when they're looking at players and he chooses one guy over his own player that he coached in college, and he's like, "Hey, Herb, why are you doing that?" And he goes, "I played against him. I know him better than anyone." And that guy's hell of a player, hell of a performer. I think that's where kind of give Marvin Harrison Sr., Jr. That he's a hell of a player. He knows him, has experience of him dominating, him at Michigan. I think we edge a little closer to maybe him in that, Dave. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if they have to maybe play little games to get in there because he's going to be taken possibly before 5.
I'm not exactly sure, what they're going to end up doing, Josh. I'm still a Brock Bowers guy. If they stay at 5, honestly, my guess, guys, is that, as much as, we're concerned about the draft because it's all really we had to hang our hat on, was looking forward to this draft, that I'm completely like, all right, here you go. It's all yours. Whatever they do, I trust. I trust in Jim. And be honest with you, my guess is they're going to trade back down. They're going to trade back and they're going to accumulate picks. There are a lot of holes on this team. I think Jim's going to look at game film and go, man, we got a lot of problems. And we do. This team has a lot of problems. Yeah. And as much as I want Bowers, I don't know if Jim Harbaugh goes Bowers, and he might, as you said, maybe go offensive line. We've had some people right to that point on YouTube. But you could do that. You could trade back, get multiple picks, and you could fix your offensive line and maybe find another receiver somewhere else.
I'm torn because I really want Brock Bowers, but if you can get him, if you trade back, why not do it? Like Dave said, we have so many holes on this team. You need to fill them. Why not trade back if there's not going to be a tight end drafted ahead? I don't know how many teams are looking for a tight end in the top 10. I'm curious how the Chargers take advantage of this situation. I wonder if they're going to lean more on Michigan guys. I don't know if that's what – knowing Jim Harbaugh, he's probably not going to do that at all, actually. He's just going to pick the best available players. He probably has no alliance, I'm guessing, towards Michigan players with the Chargers.
He shouldn't.
He shouldn't. He should pick the best available players, and I think he's that guy. Dave says it all the time. Even his brother said he had no friends growing up. I expect the same with the Chargers. The first thing he's going to do is he's going to walk into the training office and say, what is your guys' problem? Why can't you guys figure this out? Why every year do the Chargers have the most guys injured? What are we doing? How can we fix this issue? I hope he takes care of that because that's been a big problem with the Chargers forever. I hope he takes care of that issue. And I hope he just starts bringing in the players that have toughness, man. The big issue with the Chargers is they're never the toughest team on the field, ever. The Chargers are the kings at getting punched in the face. We never punch anybody in the face. I want the Chargers to play with the toughness and an edge that those 49ers teams played with, that those Stanford teams play with, even the USD teams that won the Pioneer League, they played with. The Chargers finally need to be a tough team, man. You'll never win in the NFL or any level of football if you're not the toughest team on the field.
Completely agree. And I 100% agree with the I don't think there's gonna be a favoritism to Michigan players. Has anyone noticed that every college football coach the day after they're not in the playoffs, oh, I don't know, they ditch their schools and I don't know, ditch their players and their freaking program. Their house is up for sale in less than an hour. Yeah, newsflash, ladies and gentlemen. These guys have no alliances. They have no alliances to anyone or any being, only to their wife and their kids. Maybe even some of them don't really do a good job of that. So it's, look, they're out for themselves. They're trying to do their jobs. They're trying to get the best job. They're trying to move up on the ladder. And I don't expect to be any favoritism to Michigan players. Would I want to be favoritism? Michigan is, he doesn't have bad players on his team. Obviously, he won the title, but I don't expect him to just be an all. I don't expect them to be the Philadelphia Eagles, right? We're Michigan Junior in the NFL. I don't expect that to happen at all. I expect him to come in with a pretty wide span of we're going to draft the best player available. And like you said, Josh, I can't wait for this physicality of this team and just the excitement. Like every first year, everywhere he goes, 07 with Stanford, 41-point underdogs, by the way, to USC. It's the biggest upset in college history. If I could rewind time as a bettor and go and bet my life on money line on Stanford, you bet your ass I would. 2011, they go 13-3 with the Niners. He goes to the NFC Championship, loses next year. They go to the Super Bowl. 2015, Michigan, they go 10-3 that season after just being abysmal in the Big Ten. They lose to Michigan State, Ohio State. Give him a little time. He takes on both, defeats both. Starts off with success. He ends with success, Dave. And that's just what's come to the Chargers. I think that's a really, really exciting thing. My question is to you, was there any OC that stands out right away that you want?
If I could choose any of them, I would take Cliff Kingsbury. He'd be my guy. I mean, everybody wants to interview him. The guy's a former head coach. I mean, talk about a guy that falls up. We talk about this all the time. I hate guys in life that fall up. I never fall up. I've never fallen up in my life, but there's certain guys who fall up all the time, and he continues.
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers falls up all the time. Even when he blows 3-1 leads, he falls up. Yeah, guys who fall up wear me out. But I'm a Cliff Kingsbury guy right now because he obviously his idea of offense is different than most people, and you have to have one of those guys. There are a few guys in the NFL that have that offensive mind that we just go, wow. You know, Kyle Shanahan's one of those guys. McVay's one of those guys. Mike McDaniel's one of those guys. Cliff Kingsbury is supposed to be one of those guys. And so, yeah, if I had to choose, he would be the guy I bring in. Again, I'll go back to what I said 5 minutes ago. Whatever they choose, Mario, I completely have 100% faith in what he's going to do. Again, whether it's the draft, whether it's chasing free agents. And again, there's some good ones out there. You know, I mean, you have Mike Evans over there playing wide receiver for the Bucks. You know, he's a free agent. Then you have Chris Jones over there inside your own division, free agent. I mean, there's some guys out there that would look pretty good. You give me Chris Jones, you give me Khalil Mack, fine. And if he doesn't go for any of those big names that I just mentioned and he doesn't get Brock Bowers, I'm still not going to come on this show and rip him. He has a resume that completely dwarfs anyone else. So anything he decides, I trust he's going to make the right move. Who am I? I sit here with you two guys watching Mario eat hot dogs. You know what I'm saying? So until he fails, which I don't see happening, dude, I will not say a negative word. I had 1 million negative words for Staley and 1 million for Bosa and 1 million for Spanos until today. It's a new leaf today. Let's turn it.
It's going to be an adjustment to not rip on the Chargers coach. I've been used to that for my entire life. You know, I've always rip on Chargers coaches. It's one of my favorite things to do. I got used to not doing that. I remember when I started at Alabama with Saban, he told me to do something I didn't like. And I was like, wait, he's the greatest of all time. I'm wrong. He's right. I can't say anything. So this is how I feel with Dave. It's going to be a hard adjustment, but Cliff Kingsbury to me has to be the obvious choice, right? As the best available offensive coordinator out there. I don't know if I'd want Frank Reich or Josh McDaniels. Mario, do you feel the same way, or is there somebody else that you're thinking of?
I got one guy. Another attitude. Another intense, beat you to the punch. A little screw you to the Chiefs, Eric Bieniemy. I'm big on Bieniemy with everything he did with
Why?
Howell.
What has he proven?
I mean, everything he did with the Chiefs. Like, come on, we gotta give him a little credit. You can't argue that when he left, the offense has not taken a dip. You cannot argue that. It has. I'm sorry, you can't argue
because
that.
he has no one to throw to. He has nobody.
Okay, I'm just saying.
The Chiefs are in the AFC Championship game this weekend.
Sam Howell led the league in passing yards this year, Dave. Sam Howell
and that got him last place. Look, I'm so disappointed that you're saying this. I just told you my Bieniemy story 2 shows ago, and you have no loyalty towards me at all. The guy tried to fight me, Mario.
Yeah, I just told you that I would cheat at anything I would do like 2 shows ago too.
I mean, you can name anyone on
do
the
it.
planet. Dude, I'm gonna find some kid that went to 8th grade with you. They hated your guts. I'm gonna put him on this show and we can just trash you. That is so
Just
disappointing that you don't have my back.
First off, just open the yearbook and point at the page, brother, and you'll get one.
All right. First off, Sam Howell finished 12th in passing yards. Not sure what you're.
He was
looking at
first
there.
at one point. He was first at one point of the year.
What,
Was my
week
point.
1?
Thank you.
Before the afternoon games?
All right, my
God.
bad. My bad for trying to throw some names around.
All right. I'm gonna give Mario some credit. I think I like that move too. Why not? Ben Johnson sounds like he's gonna be the next coach of the Commanders. He's not gonna need the enemy calling plays if he's there. Why not bring him in? Huh?
Would you keep more? Would you keep more?
I think they're
No.
keeping more, guys. They're keeping
You think
more.
they'll keep
God.
more.
They're keeping more because they haven't given them permission to interview with other teams. They're holding them back. Why would you not give them permission to interview with other teams if you weren't going to keep them?
That's a good point.
Why? Why would you
Trust
retain him?
it. No, Josh, remember, we trust him now.
He's not the guy that didn't allow Kellen Moore to interview other places. It was the Spanos.
It was. Dean said no, or somebody said no.
What's Dean's track record? That's what it is. I don't know, man. Whatever Jim wants.
I don't know if Dean's ever made a decision in his life. I mean, be honest with you. I don't know if he decides what he wears. Again, I think the guy today in that organization is the most interesting person to interview is John Spanos. What is your role now with the team?
Popcorn.
Yeah.
Halftime.
You're president of football operations or player operations. What is your role now? Because Jim guaranteed had everything written out on what he wanted. Now, here's the deal. He signed a 5-year contract with the Chargers. I have not seen the exact money that Jim is getting. Okay. The buyout, by the way, from Michigan, talk about writing a bad contract. The buyout's only $1.5 million. I mean, that's pocket money for Jim Harbaugh. You know what I mean? How's it only $1.5 million when your coach won the national championship? The goddamn coach for Washington was a $12 million buyout. Yeah, Jim's is $1.5 million. That's nothing. Whoever's paying that back. But at the same time, I don't know how much Jim's getting. Let's play the guessing game. What do you think when the number comes out of what Jim is getting? What do you think he's getting?
5 for 120.
I imagine it's got to be around the 12.5 or more, right? Because that's what he was going to get offered from Michigan. So I imagine it's got to be more than that in that 5. I'd imagine so.
Isn't it guaranteed he's going to get more than 20? Is that what they said? More than 20 a year?
Yeah, that's what we were saying because Sean Payton's the highest paid guy. So if he's getting more than Sean Payton,
I'm probably high. Not like literally
going,
high. No,
like,
like numbers
you're
high.
Going, you're going 25 million is what you're saying a year, is what you just said.
24, right? 120 divided by 5. Right?
Yeah. I mean, look, math's not our strong suit, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's 24. I was right.
I mean, anyways, I imagine, I don't know if they'll make him highest paid because you still got a lot of other players you got paid.
I say when this is all said and done, he's the highest paid guy. That's my guess. I'm going, guys. I'll give you my guess. I'm going 5 years, 115 million. He's getting 23 million a year. And again, I'll say this before anyone else comments in the YouTube chat here is, dude, I don't care what he makes. You know what I'm saying? I just don't care. It doesn't affect me any which way. If they paid him $50 million a year or $5 million a year, I don't care. None of that affects me. Just like Ohtani getting $700 million. I don't care. All I am is a fan of this team and want to see this team win. So whatever Dean's willing to pay, fantastic.
Nice little Dodger slip in there. Quick question.
Always Dodger season.
For you guys. As a GM, does this make this job more attractive to you or less attractive because you didn't get to pick your coach, but you do get Harbaugh as your coach?
Go ahead, Josh. I got an answer.
That's a good question. What do you have to say?
Dude, if you're a GM, you're just happy to get a job. What are you talking about? Tom Telesco, did you hear him at his Raider press conference? Oh, I looked around a little bit and I interviewed and I was like, dude, there was no one else knocking on your door, Tom. The Raiders were the only ones saying, they literally said, Tom, do you have a black tie or a silver tie to go with the black jacket? Because we're going to hold a press conference. We're going to stick a little Raider pin right here on your lapel. Dude, Tom made it sound like all 32 teams were interested in hiring him. Calm down. There aren't a lot of jobs out there that we're talking to you. Okay, so if you're offered the GM position with the Chargers, you weren't a GM before. You're an assistant somewhere else. You're looking to go up the ladder. So you're going to go, yeah, I'm going to take that damn job. and I'm going to have Justin Herbert. I'm going to have a great coach, and I'm going to look like a genius. And it doesn't matter if Jim picks all 7 picks in the draft for me. People are still going to give me credit because I was the GM when this happened. Yeah, come on. There's not like 32 jobs are available.
Yeah. Who's knocking on Tom's door? He'd be lucky to be the GM of Pontiac. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, Uber Eats is the only one knocking on Tom's door. Calm down. Don't act like, hey, they're lucky to have you. Okay, they're the only ones talking to you.
Or DoorDash.
Whatever.
Amazon.
What did
advertise on the show?
Yeah, what a difference for Tom Telesco. Having a coach you could definitely kick his ass to a coach that definitely kick your ass, and Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
That has to be weird, right?
Yeah, Tom's like, the difference of you, Antonio, and my last coach is we both wore medium Charger gear. Now what? You know? I'd be swimming in your double X, top. Damn, Antonio.
Oh my God.
Come on.
What a great day,
Two of the
man.
windiest guys on the
What
planet.
a great day. Good. No, Josh, you're right.
day.
What a damn great day.
Dude,
Better-
we win.
Yeah.
1-0. Today we went 1-0.
Josh, would you say this is better than the day you got engaged?
Oh, yeah.
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 Oh, my God, yeah. Dude, huge win today.
Huge win.
Yeah.
I put this above every niece and nephew that's ever been born in my family.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah.
The numbers are pretty high. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Dave? Would you put this above the day Josh was born?
No, I would not. I would not.
I would.
That is funny. I laughed when he said Josh's fiance because she doesn't even know who Jim Harbaugh is. If you were to ask her who's Jim Harbaugh,
Oh,
like,
she does now because I've asked
really?
her
You've
who
been
has it
talking to her
better
off?
than us 500 times already. She knows now. And she knew that
This
you
is
called
exciting.
it first. She knew that.
Yeah, literally, it's one of those things, man. I'm glad that we got right. It's funny, one of the few. I don't say one of the few things we got right, but this is one I'm proud of that we got right. I mean, when we called out Staley and everything else, that's not fun when you're calling for a coach to be fired and we were right. It's not what we want. I did break the Steve McNair story. That's probably my biggest break that I've ever had until this Harbaugh story. That was kind of crazy. That was a sad one. Mario doesn't remember.
Are you going to tell this story or are
Yeah.
you going to just leave it at that?
Yeah.
Oh, now I
you
gotta
do
t-
that
now
a
I gotta
lot, by
tell-
the way. Josh, you picked up on that. He'll say like an event, and then we'll sit there like waiting for the story to be told, and then you have to go, "Are you gonna tell a story?" And he goes, "So Jesus and I," and you're like, "All right, now we're getting to it."
True. All right, I'm gonna tell the Steve McNair story, but I'm still not gonna give my source on this one. Okay. So here we go. It's 4th of July, and I'm in San Diego, and I get a call from a childhood friend that I haven't spoken to since I was like 10 or 11 years old, and he tells me, "Hey, I just discovered Steve McNair's body, and he's involved in a murder-suicide." And he goes, "You still work for ESPN?" I said, "Yeah, I do." So I call back to Connecticut and I say, "Steve McNair, quarterback of the Ravens and Titans, is dead in a murder-suicide, and this is where he's at right now." And ESPN's like, "How in the hell do you have this story? You're 2,000 miles away. Like, why would you have this story?" And I said, "I can't tell you how I found out, but I'm telling you right now, this is where Steve McNair's body is." And they called a local news station in Nashville. Sure enough, the story was 100% right. To this day, ESPN will say that was the craziest tip they ever got. Like, how did a guy at a pool party in San Diego know exactly what happened and where it happened? And that again, it was a terrible story, but that was crazy. That was crazy. So this is much better news. Okay, not to be a downer, but this is much better news.
Yeah, it's hard to
Yeah,
pivot
I would
off of
say
that
so.
that right there.
Yeah, it's hard to pivot is right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about this?
Sorry.
I got something, Mario. How about Dave is sick right now? If you can't tell, he keeps muting himself because he's coughing. It's justice. This justice was served today because nobody's a bigger jerk when you're sick than that guy, especially when you have a cough. My mom, my poor mother, he'll say, "Are you gonna fix that? What's wrong? Are you gonna fix that?" And she's like, "What do you want me to fix? I have a cough. There's nothing I can fix." And look who has a cough the big day of Jim Harbaugh. Dave does. That's justice.
It's crazy, man. Josh is right. It's my biggest pet peeve. I cannot stand when people cough, whether I know them or not. It drives me nuts. Josh knows, though, as a dad, I had little time for people getting sick or hurt. I taped up that kid's arm, made him play shortstop when he was like 9 years old. Would have let him miss a game with a broken arm. But here's a funny
You
thing.
broke it.
I didn't break it. Here's a funny thing, dude. So you guys ever go through these situations where you're so sick, or you go to bed at night and you're like, I think I'm gonna die tonight. Like I feel that sick. Like I just I'm gonna wake up dead tomorrow. And you're like, this is not good. So last night I'm sitting on the couch and I'm doing the thing in my head, like, do I go to the emergency room now? Like I could not feel worse than I did yesterday. And my dog jumps off the couch and she is sitting there just staring at me for 2 hours. And I'm like, is this dog looking at me because she knows I'm going to die? I'm all playing the games in my head. I'm talking to the dog like David Berkowitz from Son of Sam. This is a way. Do either one of you guys know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Do you know who David Berkowitz is?
No.
Mario?
Walk me too on that.
This was like 1977 in New York City. This was a big deal. It was Son of Sam. Well, it's a famous murder deal.
Oh, okay.
So the guy went around shooting up people in New York City because the neighbor's dog kept barking, and he swore that the neighbor's dog was telling him to go out and kill people in New York. And so people were freaking out. So Son of Sam, the dog's name was Sam, and the dog would bark and say, you got to go kill somebody else. And he'd go out and start shooting people. And until they finally found him, but people were afraid to leave their houses because of David Berkowitz. So I'm looking at this dog and I'm talking to the dog like I'm David Berkowitz. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I'm just going to bed. And here I am. Thank God I made it to today, guys, because it was a good day. It would have really sucked if I didn't make it to today and all this news went down and I wasn't here to celebrate with you guys.
Did the Lord?
Yeah, we would have had to do a show without you. No tribute.
Yeah, no tribute shows. We never do tribute shows. Absolutely right. That's the way it goes. Let's pick the games. Let's pick the games for this weekend. I can't remember.
Sure, went 0 for 4 last week.
Who did?
I think I went 0 for 4 last week.
I went 2 for 2 and 2. I forgot. I threw away the piece of paper by accident.
Good.
With the ones we
Thank
picked.
God.
Mario, do you know what you wore?
Probably not great. Because I
covered the Texans game I covered the Texans game and I covered the 49ers game.
I did take the Texans, so that didn't go out well. I did take the pack that covered, and then who's he? Trying to remember the spread of the other game. Detroit. Yeah, you know what? We'll just move on because I can't remember off that. Memory's an issue. That's the topic for a different day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the championship weekend of the NFL season. God, it's so sad. Literally, only 3 games left on the year. How about that? And the Pro Bowl, which no one cares about. But Chiefs Ravens, we won the first one. Chiefs Ravens 3.5 point favorites at home, over under 44.5 in this one, ladies and gents. What do you guys think here of Baltimore at home?
This is interesting, Josh, because that referee, the one that said always helps out the visiting team, you guys saw that whole thing, is doing this game. And you're going, what the hell's going on? If this guy has a reputation of always helping out one team or the other, that's not a good sign at all. I mean, and also, what's going through his head? Is he on the field just listening to the fans go crazy and go, F all of you? I'm about to ruin your day. Like, what's going through his head that he sits there and sticks at the home team every time? What's happening here?
It's weird that it's a visiting team. Maybe he has like a fetish for people hating his guts. I think the Chiefs cover. Yeah, Chiefs cover. I think 3.5. Chiefs don't lose by more than like 3 if they do lose usually. So I'll go Chiefs cover.
I'm with you. I think the Chiefs cover. I just can't see the Ravens absolutely blowing them out or winning by more than a field goal in this matchup. Yeah, I mean, I just like it. I don't know. I'm really scared the Chiefs are gonna win. Like, I'm really, really terrified the Chiefs are going to win this game. I don't want to say they're going to win this game, but, like, I really feel like they're going to win this game, Dave. And, like, I'm really close to betting the money line so I can sacrifice my money for them to lose.
I'm going with the Ravens, guys.
Yeah.
My dog's going crazy. Sorry.
Wait, what does the dog? Wait, you talked to him last night. What does the dog say?
Yeah, you hear that? I just leave my mic on. Let her just go.
Yeah, you can mute. Yeah, just mute that thing.
Yeah, no, you can keep. Please let her keep barking. Yeah, it's good.
Dude, it's her own reflection in the goddamn window. Let's calm down here. Not the smartest dog. I got a C student dog, Mario.
Hey,
I'm going Ravens. Cool it. I'm going Ravens on this one. All right, I'm going Ravens. There you go, clear as can be. But I'm going John Harbaugh. Again, it's a good week for the Harbaugh family.
Yeah. Wait, who would you rather be than us? Right? That's a quote. Wait, yeah.
Who has it better than us?
Who has it better than us? All right. Next one, Lions, Niners. Big spread here, ladies and gents. Niners are 7-point favorites at home against Detroit. With Debo saying I'm very questionable. Forgot to mention the first one. Mark Andrews did practice today, so it looks like he'll go this weekend. So pretty big thing to remember there. But Lions, Niners, Debo probably out in this. Josh, does the miracle in Detroit keep going?
Nope. I think 49ers blow them out. Jared Goff's going back to where he went to college. I think it doesn't matter. I think 49ers are going to roll.
Interesting here, right? Because when you look at the 49ers situation, what's the reason that Goff isn't with the Rams anymore? Because Sean McVay was flying back from San Francisco to Los Angeles, and he said, I can't win again with Goff as my quarterback. This is the team that said Goff can't beat the Niners. I can't win with this guy as my QB. It's not going to work. And this is the game. So Goff going against the Niners, not only, of course, did he enjoy success against the Rams a couple weeks ago, but this was the decision where McVay said he's not the guy. And so here he is going against the Niners. As far as Debo goes, man, I'm sorry, dude. It's a trip to the Super Bowl. Everyone was waiting for you to get to the spot to sit there and make up for what happened last year when you lost all your quarterbacks against the Eagles. Dude, you ever hear of a cortisone shot? I mean, you got to play. I don't care what that shoulder's doing right now. Let's juice that thing up and let's get on the field. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. It might sound wrong saying that. I'm 100%. And look, it sounds terrible. If it was my own son, I would tell Josh, dude, you got to get a cortisone shot. You get your ass out on that field. In 9th grade, you played in a game nobody cared about with a broken arm because I made you. This is important to a lot of people. You get your ass on that field.
Yeah, you go find that dog after the game. Yep.
Yeah. Little Billy Madison. Yeah.
Give me Lions cover. Brock Purdy last game gave me so little confidence in every single way that he can walk through any team. I mean, if there's anything wrong with that weather, if there's a sprinkle, that guy's going to cry a freaking river. So I don't think he's going to worry me anything. I don't think he can cover a spread. I think the Niners win. I don't think he can cover a big spread of 7. I think Cam will have him fired up. Cam will have him going. I think Shanahan does expose that secondary of the Lions, but I do think the Lions find a little bit of success to keep it within a touchdown. So I'll take the Lions +7.
All right, so we picked different all the games, which is great as far as the matchups go. Like someone's going to be okay. All right, so here's my question for you guys. Just going back to when you're 8 years old and you're a football fan. If you could choose the 2 people to end up in the Super Bowl, just as a football fan, who would you like to see in the Super Bowl?
Ravens, 49ers. I hate the Chiefs more than anything.
I do too. I take anybody but the Chiefs. I'd go Lions.
Probably the Lions. Probably the Lions. Yeah, probably the Lions. Yeah, Lions are their nice story. Ravens, Lions.
I would. Yeah, I was about to say I'd go Lions for the story, and then Ravens because it's Lamar's turn in a way. Like I think every dominant quarterback has the year where it's like in quotations like your turn. I feel like this is Lamar's turn to get the ring, and if you don't hit that window, you're Dan Marino.
Do you guys fall into this whole logo deal? Like, I hate when people say any sport is fixed. I think it's just coincidence, but it would be the 3rd year in a row that the logo of the Super Bowl exactly matched the colors. You understand the logo this year is Ravens 49ers colors.
Yeah,
last year it was Chiefs Eagles colors. Yeah, but does it bother you when people say the league is fixed? Like, we all love the NFL. I don't think any league is ever fixed. There's no way you can pull off a fix and have people keep a secret. It's hard for anyone in the family to keep a secret if there are 4 people living in your house. How in the hell is this huge secret last? There's no way any league is fixed, especially the NFL. They have too much to lose.
It's not fixed. No. If it was fixed, the Chargers would be in it somehow one time.
Yeah, right?
Like WWE, everybody gets a shot. Chargers never got a shot. Never won.
The Bears would have like 3 Super Bowls.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, all of you guys will be able to relate to this that do this show. There's Italians that work in the NFL. You ever hear an Italian family? You hear everything about everyone. Hey, mom, is Joey doing okay? No, Joey's depressed. They're trying for their 4th kid. Like, you get way too much info. Like, you get all the details and the secrets. Like, there's too many Italians that work for there. The script would be out too fast.
Okay, I just want to point out Mario's Italian before anybody freaks out, okay, that you went after Italians.
You got some Italian blood.
Yeah, we're all connected to Italians. My point is, I don't want people to sit there and go, "Look, what the hell's he doing singling out Italians?"
No,
It's
I'm
a
just saying.
stereotype.
I think Mario hits the Italian. You can't guess it by that. Then get help, brother.
Get out, brother. All right. Are we going to be back on Sunday right after the games? Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Be back
Yeah.
right after the game. Can you make
Get
the
a Super
fireworks
Bowl
one more
matchup.
time, Mario? Oh, there you go.
Well.
That's for Harbaugh right there. We
Yeah.
paid for that.
Also, quick discussion really quickly. Said this was a discussion at dinner I had tonight. The 2-button unbutton. Tool or plays? Because I said tool. And other people said plays. But I said tool. And it's only because I can't get it to button. It always slips out. So it's in. If I just do that, it's not gonna. Yeah, like it slips out really quickly.
Depends on the shirt. That's my answer.
Okay.
I think it depends on the shirt you're wearing.
Fair.
No,
What's your answer?
It's one button unless you're the Rock. Then it's 2 buttons. But you aren't the Rock. It's 1 button.
I agree with you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There's
Saying.
Hold on. There's shirts that deserve 2 buttons to be unbuttoned. Are we going to act
Yeah,
like
not
that's
the
not
one
true?
he's wearing. He went out to a
Yes, it
nice
depends on
dinner
the
tonight.
shirt. It
Yeah,
depends on
you have
the
nice
shirt.
pants on, right, tonight? I don't know what you're wearing now, but you had nice
Yeah.
pants on when you went out.
Yeah, I got nice pants. Shut up, Bill.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a 1 button. It's a 1 button night.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But if you're at the club, it's 2 buttons. Come on.
Yeah. Look, in the club, every hour you're there, a button gets done.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's what it is.
All right. Again, you can leave your comments right there in the YouTube comments, of course. There you go. It's a step on myself. And then at the same time, we want to get your predictions. What do you think happens? You heard ours right there. What do you think? What Super Bowl matchup do you think we see? We are curious to know. We will be back on as soon as the games are over on Sunday. And then, of course, we're talking more Charger football. Please leave your comments on Jim Harbaugh. I can't imagine a lot of people against it. If you're against it, who else would you have rather had? Very curious to that. We ask you to subscribe and like in every one of these episodes. We appreciate it. Also, if you're listening on the Odyssey app, Bolt City Podcast, thank you so much for that as well. But YouTube comments, we read them all. So thank you. So for Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. Good day in Los Angeles. Jim Harbaugh is head coach of your Los Angeles Chargers. We'll see you next time.